Hello, everybody. I'm super excited to be here today. Today is going to be another live video, and we are going to refactor the code that we wrote in the previous video with the combine, and we're going to refactor it into MVVM. So the way we're going to do live stream today, I'm going to do a little recap what we did in the last video, in the last live stream, and I'm going to refactor into MVVM, and then I'm going to take your questions. Feel free to send me a chat, put your question in the chat. So in the chat, you see a link for my repo. Let me post it one more time. So this is the link, and if you use GitHub, you need to go to MVVM Branch. So let me pull my GitHub right here so everybody can see. So there are two branches, so you need to be in MVVM. So all the code related to MVVM is going to go to MVVM Branch. So with that out of the way, let's see what we did last time. So the last time we implemented the network manager, standard network manager, and instead of our traditional URL data task code, we do it in a reactive way. We're returning a future, and in the future we are calling URL session share data task publisher that will publish the data from the URL session. We do our decoding here, and we receiving it on the main queue. And as we receive our jobs, we use our future. We will return our future. We get our jobs and store in any cancelable. So the first thing, we need to refactor it a little bit better. So apparently, per best practices for combine, it's really it's better to return not a specific publisher, but any publisher. So, and what we're going to do, we're going to refactor it a little bit. We're going to say any publisher, and for our future right here, Xcode is not happy with us. We are going to erase in any publisher. So that is done. It's so the reason why we need to erase it to any publisher, because when we return a future and we did a lot of modifications, so our type is going to be a very long. So we don't want that. And when in combine, when you work with a lot of publishers, it's better to erase them to any publisher so you don't have conflicts with your type. So, and if we run application right now, everything should run the same, exactly the same as it ran before. So in here we have our like standard table view. So before we move forward, so let's refactor our table view a little bit. So if we go here, we have for the table view, which is registering like a standard UI table view cell. So we need to create our custom cell. So and in our custom cell, we go into layout and very simple UI. So for this live video, for this live stream, we're not gonna really do a lot of UI work because I really want to show you combine, and I might do another live video or live stream when we work with UI specifically. But for this live stream, everything is going to be super, like the UI is going to be super simple, nothing fancy. We just want to display data. So let's go ahead and get going. So in our folder, let's create a new file. Let's create CocoaTouch class, and for this, we need UI table view cell, and let's call it JobCell. JobCell create. So we don't need any of this. So we just going to create a custom initializer. We're going to relay out our UI programmatically, and for that we need to call init. So and super init with style and reusable identifier. So let's create reusable identifier in the cell. Static lat. We're going to call it a reusable identifier just like that, and we're going to call it job cell. So we should be good right here, and here instead of UI table view cell, we just gonna say job cell self, and for the identifier we are going to say job cell reusable identifier. For our cell that we are returning, we need to cast it to our job cell. Job cell reusable identifier as job cell. So everything should be okay right now, and it's not. Oh yeah, like we need to do require init, and it basically means that when there's no storyboard associated with that, we're just going to create everything ourselves. So everything is still working all right. So let's go ahead and create our view model. So for that, we're going to create a new Swift class, and we're going to call it JobsViewModel. We're going to import combine. We're going to create a new class, JobsViewModel. So, and basically what we need to do, we need to, if we go back to our ViewController, we driving our table view based on the job, or on an array of jobs, rather. So we need to create a publisher essentially that we can react to, and based on that array, we can configure our UI. We can configure our table view. We can configure everything else. So let's go to our job view model and create published, and it's going to be jobs, and it's going to be an empty array of jobs. Init. So we're not gonna do anything in our initializer, at least as of right now. We don't need that, but what we need to do what we need to do, we need to go to our view. We need to basically we need to basically recreate fetch jobs code. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to go to our job view model, and I'm going to create a function fetch jobs, and the guy, I'm going to paste it right here. It's going to complain, yeah, we don't have any cancelables. Yeah. So let's do this like right here. And it's gonna be a set of any cancelable. Any cancelable. So we also don't have our table view, so we're going to remove it from there. So what we need to do next, we need to go back to our view controller and introduce our view model. Let view model equals JobsViewModel. So So in our JobsViewModel, we need to make a call to we need to fetch jobs. So view model fetch jobs, and now let's go back to our view model. So let me indent it a little bit nicely. Okay, so published, we can actually subscribe to publish and listen to the data from the publish. So what we can do, we can say view model, view model only, view model. So jobs, we need to use a $sign because it is published. So sync, we don't really need jobs right here, but what we need to do, we need to say only we need to do week self, and here table view reload data, and we're going to receive it on dispatch queue. Main. We're going to store it in any cancelables, in our any cancelables. Okay. So and yes, we don't need our job array here. So basically now we will listen to our view model jobs count, and We're going to copy that. And this is how we're gonna configure our table view. All being well, everything is going to run as we expect. Okay, everything is looking good. So the first thing that we do here, we are subscribing to our publisher, to our jobs publisher, and once we have it, we are going to reload our table view, and the array from our view model jobs array is going to drive our table view. So now let's create a simple UI for our job table view cell. So because we are not really focusing on the UI here, like our UI is going to be really simple. So in fact, I'm going to copy my UI code from my project that I was doing before, and I'm going to just pass it right here. So this is our UI. We're gonna have a company label, we're going to have employment type, and we're gonna have position label. Just 3 UI labels. Absolutely nothing crazy, absolutely nothing special. So now we have to we need to configure our UI. So for the UI, we're just going to use a simple VStack. Again, I'm just gonna copy the code and pass it right here, because we don't care. But like, again, this tutorial is not, this live stream is not really about the UI. It's about how we can interact with our view model and update our UI based on the view model. So, and also we need to a function that we're gonna configure our cell. So basically in it, we're going to call configure UI. This is all what we're gonna do, and we need to configure our cell. So the way we're gonna do it, we're going to create a method configure cell, and we're going to configure with a job. So, and basically company label text equals with job company, well, like, let's say company. We're going to use string interpolation here, job company. We're going to configure our position label, text, job, what is that? It's not a position, it is title. Okay, and it's title, and employment type label text equals jobs type. So This is all we need right now to configure our table view cell. So let's go back to our view controller. We need to change the table view a little bit. So it's looking a little bit better, even though we don't care about the UI right now. But like, we're gonna make it a little bit nicer. So we're going to increase the height for the table view so we can see everything nicely. Height for row, and we're going to use 100. So, and for the cell, when we configure our cell, what we need to do, we need to call ViewModel, and we're going to again listen to our jobs. We're going to subscribe to our jobs, and we're going to call cell configure with, and it's going to be jobs index path row, and we are going to receive on dispatch queue. We're going to receive it on the main thread, and we're going to store it in any cancelable. Alright, all being well, we should be able to see our table view nice and well, hopefully. So this is our table view, and everything is driving. Everything that we see is basically all our UI, our view controller. We are driving everything from our view model. Based on the view model, we're going to display amount of cells, and we're going to configure our cell with the job that we receive from our view model array. So now let's do something. Let's do something really interesting. Well, not really interesting. As we tap on the cell, we're going to present a detailed view controller. We're going to present a detailed view controller, and for the detailed view controller, it's going to be really simple. Let's create a new class, Cocoa Touch class. Let's say UI view controller, and let's say job details controller. So I'm gonna pause for a little bit, and I'm going to just update my GitHub repo. So again, if you're working alone, I use MVVM Branch ViewModel. So if you are trying to follow along and you're joining my live stream kind of late and you haven't been here from the beginning, again, there is a link in the chat. It's the same repo that we used before, and the branch is going to be MVVM. Alright, with that out of the way, let's continue. So it's our view controller. We need to just remove all of that. And all we're gonna have here, so let's create view background color system background. We need to create our UI, our label. Let label, and it's gonna be UI label, and we're going to use our anonymous closure like that. Let label equals UI label, label of label, atomic false. We're going to lay out everything programmatically, and label number of lines equals 0, so our text is going to nicely wrap around if it is too long, and we're going to return our label. So let's create a function. Configure UI. What we need to do, we need to view and subview label. And we need to provide our constraints, and as layout constraints activate, here we're going to provide our constraints. I'm going to just copy and paste because it's not a lot of fun to see layout constraints code. Like, it's after working with Swift UI, I find it's a little bit tedious. So, and again, we're here for ViewModel, not for UIKit code. Now, let's create a pass through subject, and it's going to be our job. Oh yeah, we need to import combine. Combine pass through subject, and it is generic. It's gonna be a job, and it's never gonna fail. And we need to create a set of any cancellables. Any cancelable. So somehow we are going to pass this object, this job object, to our view controller, and that thing will configure our view controller, our label. So let's create a function for that. Let's name it like what configure. So and in our configuration, we're going to say job. We going to sync job week self, self label text equals job company, and we're going to store it in any cancellables. So no errors, it is always good. So let's go back to our view controllers, ViewController. So Deselect, and as our user selects our table view cell, we are going to present our view controller. So before we do that, let's go to our storyboard. Yes, our UI is based on storyboard. Even though we are laying out everything pragmatically, I didn't feel like removing storyboard and just do everything myself. So for the storyboard, editor, embed in, and navigation controller. So just like that, let's go back, and in our Deselect Row add, so we're going to present that view controller. Let job details view controller equals job details controller. And now what we're gonna do, we again view model jobs, and we're going to subscribe sync. We're going to subscribe to our view model for the jobs. So basically, our view model will drive the whole UI for this. And we're gonna say receive on dispatch queue main. We are receiving everything on dispatch queue main because we're dealing with UI. So, and we're gonna say job details VC job send. So a job pass through subject, so it doesn't have a value when it's created. So we are going to send that value, and because we have index path, we're going to do the same kind of thing. Jobs at index row, index path at row. We're going to send that, and we're going to store in any cancellables. Any cancelable. Everything is looking good, and yeah, we need to push our view controller. Navigation controller, push view controller, job detail view controller, and it's going to be animated true. So, and before that, we are actually going to deselect row, because when we're going to come back, our row is going to remain selected. So we're just going to say table view deselect row at index path animated true. So when we're going to come back, it's not going to be selected anymore, because we don't want it to be selected. So again, let's run our application and see, all being well, we are going to see our label nice and well. This is our table view, so let's no, no. Why not? Because we didn't call anywhere. Okay. We created configure function, but we never called it anywhere. So, and I'm going to call it on view will appear. On view will appear. Super view will appear animated, and we're going to call configure right here. Oh, yeah, and we didn't add our we never call configure UI. Configure UI. Okay, like now everything should be okay. Now everything should be okay. Hopefully. And now we see our label. So, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? So, let me go through it again. We have a ViewController here. Standard labels, standard label stuff, and again, we are using pass-through subject, and we are receiving from our ViewController. Our ViewController will send a value for pass-through subject, and when we receive it, so in our configuration, we will subscribe to it, and as we subscribe, we gonna update a label for our company label. Let me run it again. And my OBS and takes a lot of resources. And I'm running M1, and for some reason, OBS is taking a lot of resources. But this is it. So this is how you use a view model, and basically MVVM with UIKit and combine. Let me go to job model. So basically, our main driving factor is this publish array of jobs. So we're doing our networking right here, and we're configuring our array through this networking. And on our ViewController, we call fetch jobs. So we're gonna update our ViewController, and then we're going to listen to it. And the first time we subscribe to it, which is going to reload data on the table view cell, and then we are on the table view itself. We're going to subscribe to it when we're configuring our cell, and based on the array, we're going to configure our cell with the configure function, and also we are going to configure our detailed view controller, so which has pass-through subject, and as we receive jobs, we're going to send that value to our view controller. So this is combined with UIKit and MVVM. It's a very, very simple example. Again, I think I'm pretty much done with my code. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me update my code right here. detail view controller. So if you need the code, if you want to go through the code, again, the branch is MVVM. And let me send you like one more time in the chat. The link. So this is where the code lives. I don't see any questions as of yet. I will hang out for a minute or two, and if there's no any questions, I really appreciate whoever joined the live stream and whoever hang out with me tonight. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. If you're on the replay crew, I appreciate you too. Thank you so much. And next week is going to be WWDC week. It's really exciting. I'm not sure how often I will upload videos or go live. I will try to do a quick live stream videos with my reaction on what is being released. It will take me some time possibly to adjust new technology, to play around with it. And I do have a family and I do have a full-time job, so probably on the weekend or a week after WWDC, I will probably release new videos related to WWDC. As always, let me know what would you like to see. Let me know what you're curious about, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure, and see you next time. Bye.